that ankle injury, and then it's Paul Millsap for 3, and it's a 2-point game at the half. Third quarter, Millsap really had an impact.
Yeah, he did, and he gave it to him in a variety of ways, outside from 3, inside, offensive rebounds. He gave him his whole repertoire of moves.
Denver was plus 11 in that third quarter, and this is where things got really ugly for the Lakers as Anthony Davis goes down. Watch his right leg, although you may not want to watch more than once. It looked really bad, like a hyperextension.
Yeah. He's the side.
He kind of shook it off for a moment, and then they tended to him on the sideline before eventually he would return to the game. Gary Harris with a swipe and a dunk. Monty Morris misses. Mason Plumlee to Harris for the layup and the foul, and Denver pulling away, all of a sudden up by 20.
Yeah, you got a good look at how Denver plays in their role, and they stop you on the defensive end. They come down, the ball moves, ball and body moves, and they make you pay. They put a bum rush on the Lakers in that second half.
And this was with a pretty quiet Nikola Jokic most of the night, though he somehow finished with 18 points, 6 and 5. You watch the game, you go, he had 18? Really? Never felt that way. 6 straight wins now for the Denver Nuggets, thanks to 73 points in the second half. That's the most LA has given up in any half this season. And after a 24-3 start, the Lakers have now lost 3 straight.
Well, we didn't have enough juice defensively the whole game. The first half, I thought they missed some open looks, and they capitalized it with every breakdown or every late rotation in the second half. And, that's why you see that kind of number.
Hey, Frank, understanding that you guys are a no excuses team, but this was your first game without LeBron. Where did you feel like, now that I'm saying it feels like a dumb question because he's LeBron James, but where did you feel like you missed him the most?
It's hard to say with something like that all over. LeBron's obviously a game changer. Our offensive flow, defensive communication, quarterbacking, playmaking offensively, being able to get guys shots, probably all that stuff.
Frank, we could see AD's right knee being worked on, or right leg being worked on in the third quarter. He was on the bench, and then he came in the fourth, and I just wanted to see how you felt he was moving and what he was kind of working through in the game.
Yeah, he tweaked it, and he felt good enough to go back in the game, so we just rolled with it. I didn't feel like he looked limited.
It's a big deal when LeBron James, with his usage, with his responsibilities, isn't in the game. Some of this you can write off to his absence, I suppose. But this may have revealed bigger problems with the Lakers. Season low 18 assists, 19 turnovers for them without the king on the court.
And not enough playmaking by the Lakers without LeBron on the floor. LeBron's the guy that beats 2, gets in seams, throws it out, and lets all of his teammates play 4-on-3 behind the ball. Right now you're going to see some turnovers here. I just thrown out to the baseline. And you're going to see just that they're driving, there's a trap happening, and just everything is just sloppy. A lot of turnovers by the team and just bad passing, Brian.
Yeah, it's like a flock, and they lose their shepherd, and they're just kind of out roaming around in the field. I had the fortune of playing as a rookie with Kevin McHale, Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, DJ, Danny Ainge. Also, in my career playing with Shaq and Kobe. And that empowered me as a player. I was a role player, but it empowered me when I walked on the floor with these guys. They were going to lead, and I was going to just do my job. When it came to me, hopefully knock down a shot. But they made it easy because for players like myself, because they demanded and attracted so much attention. Tonight, when I watched the Lakers team, it reminded me of that. They lost their shepherd, and they're kind of lost out there, without him, because he does so many things. That team is constructed to play around LeBron and the gifts that he brings to the game. And when they don't have that, they look lost today.
Without the shepherd, the wolf eats the sheep. And so
that's right.
It's a terrible ending for the sheep. Yeah, just bad.
That goes without saying.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you, it's just bad.
We'll have to wait on a further report on Anthony Davis, find out what's wrong with him. Obviously, they hope that he's okay. He's a vital part of this team, but he had 32, and as Kevin mentioned, I think the Nuggets are okay with the 32. It didn't feel especially impactful.
Yeah, it was exactly. Kevin couldn't have said it any better. He never really put his imprint on the game. You know, he made shots, he hustled and got putbacks and tip-ins and things of that nature. He scored in his little isolation plays, but that alone was not going to be enough to beat this deep Denver Nuggets team. So I don't think that it ever really worried them. Because, like I said, the other players who aren't used to making plays and facilitating were put in a position to do that tonight, and they showed that they couldn't do it.
Is this a one-off, or does it expose a bigger problem for LA?
It's a one-off if LeBron's back comes back and feels better. Then it'll be completely one-off because they'll be right back. I think it shows that you need to develop different prongs as the season goes on. Maybe you got to find, like Brian, like you said, maybe they have an offensive set where for a quarter we're just going to play through AD in the post. And then we're going to spread and fan behind it. So it does show that there's some holes. They have a great record. But there have some holes in their game without LeBron.
Also confirms something we've suspected for a while, and that's the Nuggets are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and getting better as the season goes on. All right, much more coming up.
Learn more.
There aren't many teams dealing with injuries as significant as these. Luka Doncic could be back the day after Christmas, but he missed his fourth straight game with an ankle sprain Sunday against a Raptor team, getting by without Norman Powell, Pascal Siakam, and Marc Gasol. Dallas coming off a win in Philly on Friday and taking it to Toronto early in this one north of the border. Kristaps Porzingis for 3. And then Jalen Brunson over to Tim Hardaway Jr. showing off his range. Dallas up by 30.
Feeling good and making shots.
But they shot 28% of the fourth quarter, 1 of 10 from 3. And they could not deal with the Raptors' full court trap.
Yeah, look, they're all over that trap, and I talked to Nick Nurse, and Nick Nurse said there was straight from the Iowa high school coaching clinic. You threw it out.
The coaches will be flocking there now trying to find new things. Dallas turns it over 7 times in the fourth quarter, and after this 3 off the turnover by Terrence Davis, it's a 13-point game. Raptors creeping back into it, and then Kyle Lowry happened. And he happened a lot.
Very often. You see that surge of energy, that energy transfer, got their crowd in the game, and there was no looking back after that.
That trap got him all kinds of energy, and Kyle just took over the game. He was like on full flamethrower mode, man. He was making everything.
He had 20 of his 32 in the fourth quarter. The Raptors as a team hit 6 of 11 from the great beyond in the fourth quarter. It's late, it's close. Jalen Brunson against Lowry, Villanova on Villanova. Brunson gets the call and the bucket, made the free throw. He had 21.
Nice
Toronto
play.
up by 1. Porzingis inside. Can't bring that ball down, but he gets fouled by Lowry. And Porzingis would go to the free throw line and knock him down. So Dallas is back on top. 107-106. They just might get away with all this.
High angle pick, and everything broke down for Dallas. Ended up with a dunk for Toronto. Too easy.
Chris Boucher with 21 off the bench. Toronto back on top by 1. 1.6 to go. Porzingis has range, but maybe not from 70.
Ooh.
And so the Raptors come all the way back to win it. They've now won 5 in a row thanks to the biggest comeback in the league this season and the biggest comeback in Raptors history. The collapse also tied a Mavericks record for the largest blown lead ever. Rick Carlisle broke down the breakdown.
Very disappointing. Loss. You know, I take full responsibility for it. We get to a point where we lost our aggression. Give them credit; they did a great job with the trap, but we didn't respond well enough to it, and that's on me.
Franchise best comeback. You were down by as much as 30, and yet here we are chatting. How did you flick the switch in the second half to win this game?
Rondé, Terrence Davis, Chris Boucher, Malcolm Miller came in and gave us unbelievably crazy lift. Nick put that press in. We did against Philly, and we just kept going and going. And congrats to those 4 guys. That was unbelievable.
This was the second largest comeback since the 2000-2001 season, exceeded only by what the Kings did to the Bulls in 2009. What's really interesting is that you're both part of this graphic. Kevin, you were part of that Minnesota team that blew a 29-point lead in 2008. Sorry. And B. Shaw, You were part of that Laker team that overcame a 30-point deficit against the Mavericks back on December 6th, 2002. You guys outscored Dallas 44-15 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, not a good defensive play right there. In my last year, 37 years old, but I said, okay, if I give up 2 on this end,
I'll get 3 on this
the
end.
other end.
Look at old beach guy riding up making that jumper.
Well, you had 8 points. You were plus 19 that day.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't remember much else about the game, but I do remember, this comeback and being upset because the guys that came into the game that actually got the game back in order, Phil Jackson subbed us all out and put Shaq and Kobe back in, and then they brought it home for us. But it was like, we did all the work. Let us stay in and finish this
Let
off.
you guys finish the game up and enjoy all the spoils of all that hard
That's
work.
right. That's
Well,
right.
there's a reason these things don't happen that often. 30 points is a big lead to overcome. And the trap really set things in motion for Toronto.
Everybody's going to go to Iowa next summer and go to the coaches clinic along with Nick Nurse. It changed everything. I mean, they started getting turnovers. And I think had Dallas just attacked that trap the whole time, they were trying to make crazy passes through the trap and turning it over. There's a charge right there. They for some unknown reason, were picking up the ball in all the wrong spots in the baseline corner, as you see here, picking it up right over a half court. And it was just